And here's a nice piece of steelhead. Caught this fishing earlier this summer. We were fishing for salmon, steelhead. We got a bunch of kings or chinooks, cohos, and steelheads. Tried a bunch of different recipes with all three species that I knew of. This one, overwhelmingly, this recipe seems to be the preferred recipe with most of the people that I've given it to try, versus the other recipes I made. Mix of cooked and gravlax and this marinated or cured steelhead. And the steelhead seems to also be the best species that I've tried, aside from maybe kokanee salmon that I tried a number of years ago when I was fishing in Colorado. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to kind of cure and marinate this raw. Now, in general, when you're cooking a piece of steelhead or salmon or whatnot, any salmonid species with this orange or reddish meat, you can leave some of the fat on, you can trim it close to the skin and it cooks away. Now when it's raw, you preferably want to get rid of the segment of it that's really close to the skin, which is a little darker, as well as trim off any kind of tendony or fatty part because it's going to be eaten raw. So first thing I'm going to do when I take the skin off of this, so I'm not going to go all the way down to the skin. I'm going to go a little higher up to avoid having to trim it all after. And you do lose a little bit of the meat, but it's meat that I would have trimmed off anyway, and just makes my life easier. And it also makes for a better eating experience. When you don't have it, it's kind of less fishy and fatty or whatnot. So I'm just being careful not to go to the skin, which is something I normally do when I'm skinning most fish because I'm going to cook them. So sort of a little counterintuitive, but you get used to it, I guess. Alright, there we go. So as you see, this doesn't have any of that brown meat except for the bloodline here, which I'm going to remove in a minute. And here you see we kind of left it all on here, which is straight in the garbage. Now, from here, I'm just going to cut this down the middle like that. Flip it over so I can see what I want to remove exactly. Here we're going to remove, you can see this little bit of the bloodline here. I'm going to remove just kind of a little strip of it wherever it's dark. And just trim that off like that. To begin with, this one has a lot less on it. There still is a little bit over here. So we're going to trim that off as well. And kind of got a little tendony stuff in the middle, which I'll trim off as well. As we go along here, just having a look. Here we go. This little white tendony skin in the middle is going to come off. As well. Got a little bit of this near the tail, knock off. And then I think I'm going to remove this little tiny strip of fat right along here as well. So we're just slightly off color compared to the rest of it. And same goes for that little strip of belly fat. So there we go. This is the waist. And now we're left with two nice pieces here. Now what we're going to do, we're going to cut them into little cubes. Oh, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, now they're all cubed up, as you can see. So we're just going to put them into a bowl. To this bowl, I'm going to add some sea salt. It's kind of coarsely ground, not too much, but enough that when I mix it up, it'll give some to every piece and flavor it. Gonna put a bit of vegetable oil. Could use something that's not very strong flavored, like canola oil, corn oil, vegetable oil. And now the secret spice, smoke flavor. Has a really strong smoky smell, and it gives a really nice flavor to it. Gives it that smoky flavor without actually smoking anything with cold smoke. So, and this again, depending on your preferences, it's pretty potent, so you don't need to use a lot at all. Lastly, we're going to stir this up with a spoon. We'll make sure we get a good mix. Mix all the spice, all the salt, all the oil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up in saran wrap and put it in the fridge, ideally for 24 hours. I mean, it should be fine after 12 hours. 24 hours is better. And we'll come back and show you the results when we're done. Well, we're back. You can see what this looks like here. Open it up. Kind of stick together a little bit. I'll just stir it up like this to mix it. There's a piece of it, as you can see. The texture is nice, it's firmed up a bit. Yep, it's good.